Next on Good Morning El Paso, should the city of El Paso hand out municipal IDs to those without identification? We'll take a deeper look into the issue.
After a close thriller of a game, the NFL has a new champion this morning. The exciting highlights from Super Bowl 49. Plus,
if you have the option to stay home or avoid travel, we ask you do it.
A massive winter storm is closing down schools and canceling thousands of flights this morning. The latest on your Storm Track weather coverage.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC7's Good Morning El Paso.
good morning at 6 o'clock. Despite brutal weather conditions and a winter storm warning, the world's most famous groundhog made his 125th annual weather forecast this morning, and the verdict is
6 more weeks of winter. This is video of Puxatawny Phil earlier this morning. The groundhog did see his shadow, and that tradition traces its origins to a German superstition. So again, 6 more weeks of winter.
But wait till you hear our forecast. That's a little teaser right now. In the meantime, welcome back to Good Morning El Paso, everyone. I'm Hillary Floren.
And I'm Stephanie Valle. Good morning, everyone. It is Monday. It is 6:01. Rise and shine, even if you had a late night because of the Super Bowl last night.
Yeah, as soon as the Super Bowl was over, I left the party I was at, and there was just a string of car lights behind me. Like, there were a lot of people who knew that it was time to start the work week, right?
Yeah, it's not a holiday today, but it feels like it because the weather.
The weather's pretty nice. Crystal's here with a look at our forecast.
I have a feeling when people see this forecast, they're going to wish they had just taken off today. The forecast does look really nice. Me and Puxatawny Phil kind of button heads on this one because we are talking conditions outside on your clouds and radar map showing us a sunny forecast ahead of us. We do have some clouds that are sitting on that east part of our viewing zone around parts of Hudspeth, Culberson, Otero counties. In those areas, some patchy fog is possible this morning. Some reports around Ruidoso and the Pass have been picked up by the National Weather Service at their reporting station. So fogginess possible if you move farther east. Otherwise, we're looking at a nice clear start to your day. 37, that's your temperature in El Paso now. Winds 3 miles per hour. In Las Cruces, a relative humidity at 95%. Could see some patchy fog in parts of southern New Mexico also. So a heads up, especially if you travel north along I-25. The temperature at 35 degrees outside. Coming up in just a few minutes, we're going to discuss how nice your temperatures are, not just today, but moving through the rest of your work week. Could it be a whole 7 days with no chance of rain? We'll answer that coming up.
Thanks so much, Crystal. Winter weather is once again affecting travel in the Northeast this morning. More than 2,300 flights have been canceled today due to snow, about 1/7 of them at Boston's Logan Airport. The storm is expected to bring up to 16 inches of snow to Boston. New York State could get up to 14 inches. Yesterday, Chicago saw about 1.5 feet. At last check, there were not any flight cancellations over at El Paso International Airport for today.
The NFL closed its season with Super Bowl 49 between the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks.
Brady caught, touchdown, Julian Edelman.
And that play was just one of the plays that helped the Patriots win. Tom Brady and the boys beat Russell Wilson and the Hawks in a close game that ended in dramatic fashion. Tensions were high, leading to a fight between the teams at the end of the game. Later in the show, we will have a recap of the big game.
In the meantime, back here in the borderland, the city of El Paso is looking into a program that would issue IDs to those who have a hard time getting identifiable documents.
The municipal ID program would mainly be helping undocumented immigrants. Good morning, El Paso's Denise Olivas has a recap of last night's discussion on ABC 7 Extra. Denise.
Hillary, Stephanie, the municipal ID program would also help the city's homeless population and transgendered individuals and even the elderly. But last night, the topic kept going back to immigration. Partially because, according to the Border Network for Human Rights, the IDs would help an estimated 40,000 people here in El Paso who are undocumented. Deputy City Manager David Almonte was one of the guests last night, and when asked if a municipal ID program would improve services from the police department and fire department, Almonte said the program wouldn't necessarily affect how police officers help people.
The police do not look at undocumented workers and say, before I do anything for you, I need an ID. That is not the case. We do not want undocumented workers to fear reporting crime to the police department. Okay? Therefore, we don't even ask for an ID.
And Almonte could not pin down a price for what the municipal ID program would cost, but he says that he'll likely be getting those numbers from the city's purchasing department today. Hillary, back to you.
Thanks so much, Denise, for that live report. The investigation continues into a massive house fire in northeast El Paso. It happened on the 10,000 block of Sapphire Street right around 5 o'clock yesterday morning. Just take a look at this video. The El Paso Fire Department responded, bringing it under control in about 30 minutes. No one was hurt here, but the home was just about completely destroyed. The estimated damage, around $120,000. No word yet on what started that blaze. And the investigation also continues into another house fire, this time in Las Cruces. Around 1 a.m. Saturday on the 10,000 block of Carlisle Drive. Flames and thick smoke were coming out of a bedroom window when crews arrived. This is video from our New Mexico mobile newsroom. Firefighters were able to put out the fire within just minutes. Everyone inside did manage to make it out in time and no injuries were reported.
Doña Ana County Sheriff's Office officials have arrested a mother after she was found unresponsive with her child in the car. 24-year-old Rocky Howard is charged with child abuse and resisting arrest. Last Thursday, authorities say 2 teens riding off-road vehicles in the desert found Howard passed out next to her car. Inside was her infant daughter in a soiled diaper. Investigators say Howard admitted to drinking and driving. She was later released on a $2,000 bond. A man is recovering this morning after being thrown inside a garbage truck. This happened around 8:30 Saturday morning on the 10,000 block of Vista del Sol Drive. Crews found the man had been sleeping in a dumpster when he was thrown into the truck during the routine trash pickup. The driver of the truck heard screams from inside the truck, so he called 911. El Paso firefighters pulled the man out about an hour later and took him to Del Sol Medical Center. The extent of his injuries not known at this time.
Meanwhile, charges are pending for a man who police say hit 2 men with his car and killed them. The crash happened around 2:30 Saturday morning on Loop 375 near Spur 601. We learned the 2 men killed were brothers, 25-year-old Jesse Gutierrez and 22-year-old Adrian Ramirez. Police say the brothers were in an argument in the middle of the road on Loop 375 when another car heading north hit them. These are pictures the family shared with us. This is a picture of Adrian Ramirez with his 2 daughters that he left behind. And we also have a photo of Gutierrez on the left who left behind a daughter. Police say that they believe Gutierrez, Ramirez, and the driver who hit them were all drinking. The driver, who has yet to be identified, is only described as a 41-year-old man from Cañetillo.
At 6:07 now, taking a look at traffic cameras courtesy of TxDOT. You can see Loop 375 at Rojas. Pretty light out there, as well as at San Marcial and Loop 375. We'll keep an eye on traffic throughout the morning for you.
It's been a year since the deadly home invasion involving a Las Cruces MMA fighter happened.
1 man was killed. Joe Torres maintained he acted in self-defense. We'll hear his story in a special report later in the show.
And the governor of Texas is honoring one of the nation's most lethal snipers in history. What he plans to do later today. But first, meteorologist Crystal Cly has your forecast. Crystal.
And it is a good one. We are talking conditions outside just getting better in the days to come. So how high will that temperature go? The answer's after your break.
Thanks, Crystal. This is ABC 7, where news comes first.